I did some actual research into authenticity, confidence, and purpose. And I really wanted to understand what are these principles, because we throw out these terms all the time. Be authentic, be yourself, just be yourself. And we act like it's easy to be authentic, or it's easy to be confident, or it's easy to be purposeful. But if that were the case, then we would all be authentic, confident, and purposeful all the time. But we know that that's not the case. And so luckily, there's been a lot of research into what these principles or even practices really are, because I wanted to define them and then help leaders develop strategies to navigate the hurdles to authenticity, confidence, and purpose, and then to also begin to practice them more deeply in their everyday lives. So as a consultant, when I'm working with leaders, when they're through with me, they feel more authentic, confident, and purposeful. They've developed their own sense of what personal power is for them. And that's important because I think a lot of people feel like when they're getting some guidance on their presence, they often say to me, I don't want to look like anybody else. I don't want to act like somebody else. I want to be me. You're not going to turn me into somebody else, are you? And for me, that is the antithesis of what it is that I want to accomplish. I want them to be the most authentic, confident, and purposeful version of them, and then show that to the world. So once they sign on to that, oh, it's about being authentic, like who am I? Then using that as the starting place, then they're on board. And that transformation of becoming more authentic, knowing who they are and showing themselves, that's what authenticity is. That transformation into becoming more confident, believing in themselves more fully, becoming more purposeful, being more intentional and motivated in what it is that they do. That starts to really shift how they show up in the world, how they think about themselves and their own leadership. One thing I do as a speaker is I bring my performing into my speaking. This is really important for me. I approach my keynotes like a performer. I approach them like a one-woman show. I approach them as an entertainer, because I really do firmly believe that keynotes should be informative, but they should also be entertaining. We want to get people engaged. We want to keep people awake. We want to have them walk out of there not just with additional information that they can apply to their lives, but also feeling like this was an experience. And so I really do think that I bring that to my keynotes, that sense of performance, that sense of taking the audience on a journey, on an emotional journey, bringing in the highs and the lows, putting in some jokes, putting in some humor. And I think that that's especially important for a topic like personal power, because I think sometimes that can feel, when we're starting to do that introspective work, it can feel a little scary. But putting in some humor, I think, is really important, because it brings some levity to something that can feel a little serious and maybe even a little daunting for some people.